Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well, staying safe and practicing social distancing. Sorry that we couldn't all be here today for our special occasion speeches. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone to help film me right now, so I'm just doing this at the best that I can with what I got. So it's kind of a weird camera angle, but here we go anyways. So I actually will be graduating college this semester. This is my last semester, and I would imagine that a ceremony is not going to be held in person. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to just write up my own little college graduation speech, kind of talk about my struggles with school and overcoming them. Yeah, here we go. So when I first started going to school, I was intimidated by the whole thing. I was held back in elementary school. I barely squeaked by middle school, and I dropped out of high school. And so the idea of going to college was out of the question for me. So I eventually had got my GED, and I just spent like 4 or 5 years in the workforce, working minimum wage retail jobs, warehouse jobs, etc. Not really enjoying myself. I did not feel like this could be the rest of my life. I wanted to do something better, and so I decided to go back to school and to change things. And it's a cliche, but you really only do live once, and I don't want to. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life just being miserable and unhappy and making somebody else money while I just struggled to make by. So going to school, I thought was the best idea to fix that. And so I was really nervous going to school in the beginning, especially. Obviously, given my history of schooling, I didn't know what to expect, and it actually was a lot easier, and not easy, but just not as challenging as I thought it would be. But it was different, and I think the personal responsibility part was the hardest part about schooling. You're given the freedom to choose what classes you take, what teachers you have, and if you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. But then you'll experience the consequences of that. So I feel like college is just a big test, testing your responsibility, your self-responsibility, and it's constantly challenging you. There's outside things that parties, friends, family, and they might distract you from staying on track and all that. But I think the key ingredient to success in school, I think, is just being responsible and managing your time very well. So one thing that I had learned from being in the workforce was just being punctual. And just keeping yourself accountable, and I feel like that's a special skill that I did learn from working. I think sometimes people go from school to high school to college, and I think maybe it's important to take a break from school and to go work for a while and see how that is, and then take that attitude to college eventually. And there was a lot of challenges for me in school. Eventually, dealing with anxiety and depression. Just not having motivation to do a lot of things. That's going to be a challenge for many of you, or for many of us, in school. And so, yeah. Something I also wanted to let the younger students or the newer students in the classroom know is, I had met a few people through my college years, and something I noticed was that a lot of people are pursuing degrees in classes that they're not passionate about, and I think college is hard no matter what you're studying and what you're pursuing. So I think it's important to follow what you love. If you don't know what that is, maybe take courses and find out. Maybe there's a class for you. You'll discover something that you were not originally passionate about.